Hello, every pony, and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we proceed to check out all the fanfics that are not pony related. Why? Because man cannot survive on pony alone. And you'll have to forgive the parties and the celebrations here. For the sounds of it, and judging from the reviews, Wonder Woman is not just good; it blows other comic book movies out of the water. And needless to say, all of the Wonder Woman fans around here are really excited. I'm kind of excited too because I've seen the reviews. I've seen a lot of people say that this thing has been great. Even TV tropes has been making me happy. To prove a point, I've actually read the TV tropes on Batman v Superman, and yes, I was that disappointed. Here, I'm like, go team! And every time I read a new trope, it makes me want to watch the movie more and more. I guess that's what happens when you actually put a really good effort into creating a well done and well told story. It also goes to show what happens when you keep true to the character's ideals. I mean, yeah, be political and realistic as all you want, but don't try to deviate from who the character is while you're at it. If you do that, then why have the character at all? See, I've read a few articles on Screen Rant trying to defend Superman, Batman, and the whole darkness of DCU. The problem is they haven't realized that that's not Superman. This feels more like it's Wonder Woman the way we want her. And thank the heavens for that. So, what better way to celebrate that than with a chapter of a Wonder Woman story where she crosses over with, say, Sailor Moon? Yep, I found one. For Love and Justice by Bookworm with the Attitude. So stay here as we here at the Treyberry Memorial Library and proud to present Sailor Moon's For Love and Justice. Enjoy. For Love and Justice by Bookworm with an Attitude. Badass name. Chapter 1. Usagi Tsukino was in a good mood. Some say this might was something that went without saying, since the Yodongo-haired girl, oh, they used the right term, was known for her cheery disposition. But honestly, she hadn't felt completely at peace since the middle of the 7th grade, when a talking cat and ominous mission entered her life. But the city of Tokyo had been free of any strange monsters the past few months, and when the city was happy, Usagi was happy. The worst she had to stop was a bank robbery she happened upon, and that had been scary because of their guns and angry glares. But she hadn't even gotten to finish her speech before they dropped them and surrendered. Ray had laughed at them for being intimidated, but Usagi thought they had seen the error of their ways so quickly. It wouldn't last forever. Usagi knew this. As Ray had once put it, completely foolish, unbelievably ditzy, and a real pain to take care of, but not stupid. A new enemy would always come along. Fresh pain was always there to be experienced. She had a strange, confusing future waiting for her, where the world would have to be reborn, and she would have to be the one to deliver it, to mother it. A duty, a destiny, an escapable fate. But for now, Saki crossed her ankles and sighed happily as the sunlight from the window warmed her face. For now, the peace of the world hung through her ears. Her friends were close and safe, and whole, and she had no current medicine except to be Usagi Tsukino, lazy and happy high school student. Usagi-chan? A voice sighed in her ear, familiar and sweet, even exasperated. You spaced out for the whole period. Hmm? Usagi turned to glance at Ami, who was standing there with her hands on her hips as the classroom began to get empty. I'm just enjoying the pre-day, Ami-chan. You enjoy life more than you pay attention to your studies, Ami said sagely. I don't think I can enjoy it any more than I do, Usagi grinned. Besides, I have Ami-chan's notes. Maybe I shouldn't care my notes, so you can apply yourself a bit more. Ami gripped her notebook, she said, looking a bit uncertain. But surely Ami-chan wouldn't do that, being such a naturally helpful person. Ami scowled at her, but the sides of her mouth threatened to quiver into a smile. Ami could never stay mad at anyone for more than 5 seconds, no matter how hard she tried to keep it up. The expression was so endearingly familiar that Usagi couldn't help but laugh, jumping up and catching her friend in a spinning hug, before dragging her out of the classroom. Let's enjoy ourselves for real! Ami resigned herself to being dragged down the hall. Mako had hailed them hurriedly when he reached her classroom, thundering towards them with enthusiasm that matched Usagi's. Minako bounded out a little late at the school entrance, nearly bowling them all over as she babbled about the unfairness of being kept back in class. She couldn't help it if she was tired from all this overwork and sleep was important for an active girl. They all headed over to the arcade to meet Ray as usual, after patiently listening to Ami's perfunctory complaint that they should be studying. The girl spotted Ray, as imperious as ever, tapping her foot by the colorful side of the arcade entrance. They moved through the crowded street, Mako serving as their meathead and guided once the people tended to move aside quickly for her than they did for the smaller girls. This didn't work quite as well as usual, though, as two rambunctious men not only failed to avoid her, but crashed right into her. Ugh! Excuse me, Mako said with a slight bow. Jeez, we get flattened by a damn Amazon, one of the guys snickered, ignoring her apology as they wound around her. Just the same, being big cute, she was a little bit smaller. She is cute, you jerk! Those pigs! Minako snapped, looking around to shake her fists at the retreating backs. I ought to give them the love smackdown! Hey, come back here and apologize to Mako-chan! Usagi called, her pigtails bristling. That's not how you talk to a nice girl! You guys call yourselves men? You ought to be ashamed, Ami chimed in, as the retreating duo laughed and ignored Usagi and Minako's intense cries. Don't listen to them, Mako-chan. I'd be willing to curse them for you, Ray said calmly, having approached as he witnessed the scene. It would break my rules, but I think they count as evil spirits in need of cleansing. Or we could hold it down and you could hit them, interjected Minako, sounding a tad too enthusiastic at the idea. Guys, I'm used to it. Mako laughed. If I beat up everyone who made comments like that, I'd be brawling with a quarter of Japan. I'd rather use that energy for baking or preserving the peace. There's no need to borrow with them, it's not worth it. You're telling the truth? Usagi asked worriedly. I know you can be very sensitive about those comments. Listen, I accepted that not many guys go for this. Makoto sighed. It's okay. I go for it, Makoto. It's their loss, Mako-chan, Ami said severely, while Mia and Usagi gave twin nods of agreement. Men aren't worthy to accept the boss around or have some fun anyway, Ray shrugged. Wait, is this their manga incarnations? I like it. Don't give up! Fight on and someone will see your glory! Usagi cried. It's alright. I like to find love, sure, but I do fine without men in my life. I got you guys to take care of. Guess it's just meant to be this way with all the others, because of who I am. Now come on, I want to kill some things in video games. Or get killed more likely. Ugh. She heaved on her side and entered the arcade ahead of them. Is she really gonna be alright? Ami trailed off. Take care of us? What is she, our mother? Mina asked. You know, Makoto, if those punks had insulted or threatened any of us, or tried to pick a fight, she's thrown them into a wall. But she'll let herself be insulted. Well, let's get her to have some fun and forget all this! Usagi interrupted Ray, grabbing Mina's hand and guiding her into the arcade. Everything will be fine, you'll see. Ami made to follow the other two, but Ray tugged on her sleeve. Ray-chan? Ray pulled Ami conspiratorially to his side. I'm worried about Usagi lately. I agree she needs to study more, but you know how she is. She'll pull it together at the last minute so she can move up with her friends. Not that. Ray rolled her eyes. I think she's still a bit shaken after everything that happened. With Galaxia? Ami asked, got a curt nod in response. She glanced through the window at her friend, who was pounding away at the game machine. She seems like her usual self. Normally that would be enough. It's just she's recently proven she'll cover her troubles with a smile and keep things from us. Ray snapped, putting her hands on her hips, amidst at the very thought. She didn't tell us when she thought Mama-chan had abandoned her, that's true, Ami said thoughtfully. But, I mean, we've been through a similar thing before. We're all okay now, after all. She did take a while to recover the last time this sort of thing happened, Ray reminded Ami. She nearly lost her powers for good, and was very dramatic about us not pushing ourselves. This time's a bit different. There's a whole issue with Mama-chan being gone so long, and she was really more than willing to believe he'd forgotten her, rather than an accident happened. It's like she really lost everything. Ray crossed her arms, chewing her lip. Ami examined Ray critically. Are you sure you're not the one who's upset by what happened? Of course not! I can handle it! Usagi takes things so personally and heart. thinking Mamo-chan would ever abandon her, that anyone could ever... She's so emotionally fragile! Ray lent her hand, letting out a grunt of expressing. I tried to toughen her up and gain some faith in her strength, but... Oh, is that what you've been doing? Ray narrowed her eyes. Ami-chan. Ami put her hand on Ray's shoulder. I understand. You're probably right. I think perhaps it would be best to ask Mamo-chan to talk to Yusagi-chan about what happened. I think that'll be a big part of it. Okay, so you can ask him. Shouldn't you be the one that talked to him? You two used to date after all. You know him best. That was years ago, and he basically ignored me while I followed him around. See? You know him well. Ami said, turning away with a smile. You're the one who talks about math and things with him. Our relationship is academic. If we're discussing matters of the heart, it should be you. Yusagi said he flirted with you once. Clearly you are very close. Ray stalked after Ami into the shop. This is the same Yusagi-chan who thinks that he flirts with his daughter in the future, correct? Yes, well... Ray-chan, don't be so concerned. Lover-chan is the easily intimidated type. You'll steamroller right over him. What is that supposed to... Good luck anyway. I think I'm going to top the high score today. Ami-chan! Oh my gosh. Where has this fic been all my life? Oh, wait, 2011. That's where. I hadn't gotten back into fanfics at the time. Ray knocked on Mamoru's door, cursing to herself. Trying to spout Army was a futile effort after all. She should have picked Mako or Minako to confide in. Mamoru opened the door, looking taken aback to see Ray standing there alone. I need to talk to you about Yusagi, she said abruptly before he could speak. Come on in. Ray sat down on Mamoru's couch, rejecting his offers of refreshment. She smoothed her skirt nervously as he sat down opposite her, looking curious. It was pretty awkward, though being one of Yusagi's best friends meant seeing Mamoru pretty much every day, was always in group settings. Last time she had been alone with him was... That time she accidentally seen him naked. Okay, never mind. Best to spit it out. I'm concerned about Yusagi, she said in a rush. Is she eating an entire ice cream cone in half a minute again? I told her that was... No! Well, yes, actually, but I wasn't supposed to tell you. I mean, I'm concerned about her emotional state after everything. After everything? Ray grated her teeth. 2 minutes in, and he was already trying her patience. But she couldn't smack him on the head. He wasn't Yusagi. After you being murdered and the universe nearly being destroyed. Do you remember that? She snapped. Mamoru blinked, looking taken aback. Honestly, what was with everyone? But Yasuko seems so fine. And I'm fine, the universe is fine, Mamoru said slowly, as if he was going through a checklist. And I know it was very hard for her, but she's, you know. He shrugged, as if it defied description. Right. Ray kneaded her forehead. Look, I don't want to talk to you all alone about this any more than you want me here. But the fact is, you're completely clueless about what went on while you were gone. She pointed at him in accusatory fashion. You need to get your facts straight. A lot happened. Mamoru looked at her quizzically. Does this have anything to do with that Seiya person? Ray was thrown for a second. What? Are you saying that when it was gone, they, or something? Mamoru was now focusing on his knees, face flushed. I mean, I trust Yasuko, but I was so sure nothing had happened. I could just tell Seiya was really, after her, right? Ray stumbled. Was that what he was after her, worried about? Well, I guess you could say, yeah, Seiya was pursuing her pretty hard. But honestly, I think Yusagi barely noticed. Or she didn't really give it much thought. She was always focused on loving you. Ray took a deep breath. That was the perfect opening. I think that was part of the problem, though. Seiya did something about once how she didn't think Yusagi should be with anyone who made her so sad. But you didn't write back to her. It was terrible for Yusagi. She thought you'd forgotten about her. Forgotten? Mamoru repeated, as if he'd never heard that word before. It was almost hard to be mad at someone so clueless. But then again, that never stopped Ray Yusagi. She truly was dealing with a perfect couple here. Except there was a couple of idiots. Ray shrugged helplessly, rolling her eyes to the ceiling. I think a part of it was she wanted to believe that, rather than think something really awful had happened to you. You know, like what actually happened. That's why she kept us from us that you weren't writing back as well. But the part I want you to know about is how easily she was able to make herself believe you've forgotten about her. She met her eyes again, leaning forward. Well, I don't know how she could even think I ever do something like that, Mamoru mumbled, eyes creased in confusion. Yeah, because it's not like you've ever gone out of your way to convince her you could hurt her and forget about her. The stark response came out before she could stop it. There had been a couple of times during that period Ray had barely restrained herself from breaking into Mamoru's place and slapping him silly. It looked like a little of that protective resentment had unknowingly remained. It hit Mamoru full force. His whole face turned beet red. Ray felt herself flush a little too as he stammered, That wasn't... Look, I'm not here to yell at you or blame you for anything. It's all your business. I know you've been through a lot too, but my business is protecting Yusaki, and I can tell that she has this all really been hard on her. It all came really close to breaking for her, and however she acts, I don't think she's ever gotten completely over it. And I can't let anything happen to her. I can't. So as much as I don't want to interfere in your private matters, believe me, I don't. I really need you to know what she went through so you can talk to her about it. Work it out so she feels better. She went through so much by herself. She's not going to want to get upset you with how she felt. But I'm not ever going to let her be alone again. She finished her speech in a stumbling stream of words, focusing hard on the wall above Mamoru's head so she didn't have to look at his reaction. She took a deep breath at the end of his confession, jumped up from the couch, balling the sides of her skirt in her fists, and gave Mamoru a jerky brow. I apologize for intruding, and thank you for your time. I will go now. Please talk to Yusaki. She turned to the door, not really looking at Mamoru. She almost managed to make it out of the room before a strange voice reached her. It's just... Yosako's always been so open about everything. She turned to see that Mamoru had stood up, looked pleading rather than angry. The tension in her shoulders loosened slightly. Hard to believe a girl like that could hide anything. But we learned the hard way she'll be hard to hurt, do not bother others. I think that some of us know what that's like. She gave him a half smile and gave a slow nod response. You really look out for her and everything, don't you? Well, it's not like she can look after herself. This made his mouth tilt a little upwards. And yet you two are always arguing. Ray put her hands on her hips. I think you know as well as I do that it's too much fun to tease her. Can't argue with that. Mamoru held the door open for Ray, and in the appropriate formal goodbye, she departed. As soon as she was out of earshot, she heaved a huge sigh and stopped to get her bearings, balancing herself with a hand on the wall. At least it was over now. She didn't like discussing feelings, and after all, any more than Mamoru did. But she had a job to do. Just like with Yusagi and Seiya, she had to be the magical fortune teller telling these idiots to understand. What was the world coming to? Suddenly, a chill ran down Ray's spine. She looked around, half expecting to see a monster standing in the apartment hallway. Something was coming, the chill of an oncoming battle, a premonition she had finally gotten intensely familiar with as a Saior Sensei. Oh no, she muttered, closing her face. Please, no, we don't really need this now. Please, just leave us in peace for a little while longer. But she knew nobody was going to listen. Please, stop hurting yourself. The woman looked up at Diana, her eyes wet and unfocused. Her stomach was bleeding where she had taken a knife to it. Unfortunately, none of the wounds looked particularly deep. You, the woman muttered, looking down into Wonder Woman's blue eyes, and down at the wrist that Diana caught fast. And quicker than anyone could have thought possible, the woman flipped the shard of the knife she held and plunged it into Diana's hand that held her wrist. You did this to me! Wonder Woman didn't even flinch, but carefully prized the woman's fingers apart until it was forced to drop the knife. As soon as she did, the Amazon's wound healed instantly. I'm going to restrain you for now, Diana informed her calmly, taking out her lasso. It won't hurt. The woman didn't look at her as she gently wound the golden rope around, but instead continued to rant into the air as she shook with her messy sobs. You, all those years you pretended you knew me, like some privileged white lady telling me women could be free, that I could be like her, because I wasn't good enough. You can understand this, but I see you through now. You're just another tool for them, trying to keep the rest of us down so you could be on top. You're the worst of them, the worst! Her voice reached a fever nail. "I'd rather kill myself than let you hurt me with your lies!" Diana's voice betrayed a hint of tiredness as she responded. "I'm very sorry if I made you feel that way. I never intended to hurt anyone, and I never told anyone they had to be like me. My only goal has been to help, but you should not hurt yourself because you feel hurt. You are far too valuable for that." As he finished winding her lasso, she trailed off from the calm, well-worn space, and her face briefly collapsed in on itself. She slammed her hand down on the ground, glaring at the golden rope. Her teeth gritted. "Why isn't it working?" he said with a strange whisper. "It's not working, because we speak the truth." A soft light floated to the darkest corner of the courtyard. Diana turned to the left to see a woman standing, black hair in a messy bun, her clothes torn and bloody. Her smile vacant as her eyes burned with hatred. She held a silver box. "The truth is, the woman of this world would be better off without you in it." "Please don't hurt yourself," Diana began, tense to act as if the woman showed any sign of self-harm. "Oh, don't worry. I'm a bit more practical than her," the woman responded. Lost my space here. She dropped the silver box. "Hurting you is more important." The box exploded into a dark shape with red eyes, and looming claws bore down on Diana immediately. Diana could not get a better view of what monster was pinning her down. She desperately warded off his nasty teeth with her crossed bracers. Speaking of bracers, how come when these guys are making the costume stuff for Wonder Woman, I keep seeing her sword in every single toy store in Walmart, but try to get the bracers? X-nay on that. Darn it! But she could hear the woman's voice as she fought for her life. "A little something we developed in my lab to use against the supervillains. I say you qualify. Of course, now that that's out of the way, I could do this. You made me hate myself so much after all." "No!" Diana lunged toward the woman as fast as the speed of Hermes could take her, was suddenly once more smothered by awful darkness. The creature's claws raking her neck. She could not see the woman any more, but she heard the shot ring out clearly. She screamed for her life. She hadn't been able to save as much as hot breath and fangs forced her into the pavement. Etta whirled around at the telltale sign of her friend fluttering in from the sky and whipping in through the bedroom window. "Diana, sorry to invade your apartment, but I wanted to—" "Why are you covered in blood?" Etta cut herself off, noticing the superhero was dripping unpleasantly as he touched down. "When am I not covered in blood these days?" Diana sighed, running her fingers through her hair despite her soaked hands, her eyes unfocused. "Whoa, that sounded pretty grim and gloomy and un-Diana-ish." Etta sat down on the couch. "What's up? You can tell me while you wash up." "I apologize. It's been very hectic these past few weeks." "It was merely a hard-won fight. Don't worry yourself. I can tell you something to share with me." She looked at Etta eagerly, then frowned when her friend continued to scrutinize. "Really, I'm fine. You remain the world's most awful liar. I've read the world on the news die. These anti-Wonder Woman riots and all the women. But you know as well as I do, it has to be some sort of mass hypnosis or magic or something controlling these women's minds." Diana shook her head wearily. "No. I used the lasso on them to no effect, and I did not sense any magic working on them." "That's tricky. You have to know all these women couldn't suddenly turn on you. You got your JLA buddies working on it?" Diana nodded again, slowly, not really focusing on Etta, who was now perching at the edge of the couch, eyes narrowed at her best friend. "Okay, seriously, what happened? What's with the blood, and how did things get worse?" Diana sank into the chair, putting her head in her hands. "A woman named Sarah Jacobson shot herself on my account. I was unable to save her because she unleashed one of her lab creations on me. I eventually slaughtered it with its own claws, hence the—" She gestured at her blood transformed. "There have been other suicides that have been unable to stop in time too. And women shooting each other just to get my attention. All with clean records, no prior problems. And even the ones I've restrained are still... They've hurt themselves. They have to be in custody. And nobody can guess they really blame me." "You can't take it to heart, Di. It's not your fault. But the lasso didn't work on him." Macy must believe what they're saying. There must be truth to it. Diana took off her tiara and stared at it. It's not as if I can contest with what some has been said. That I cannot truly comprehend every woman's position in culture. That I come from a position of privilege in their culture in several matters. From the colors of my skin to my class. I do not represent all women. I never claimed to, but the media. Some have said that I came to America first, and have a base there that shows my true values, that my standard has contributed to body shame in their culture. They truly believe I contribute to their oppression, make them hate themselves, and never a weapon. It was the truth. Whoa. Edda held up her hands. Look, honey, no well as anyone can represent you. Yours was truly jealous at one point in time, and occasionally still is. I'm not ashamed of my body. I don't want to be another tool for the patriarchs. Diana, all that matters is that I know you're a good person, that you're really trying your best for women, for equality for everyone. People will have resentment, and what makes you human? Like your little sulkfest here makes you human. And the fact that you can make mistakes, even with your grand mission, also makes you human. All that matters is you are genuine and trying to do better. Everyone has privilege, and no one can understand this. This isn't about you. You'll get through this. I know, Diana said, not quite meeting Edda's eye. She was still focused on that golden rope in her hip. But the lasso. Okay, look, Edda said abruptly, going over to her friend and shaking her shoulder. I have something that will help. Dr. Poison escaped from jail. Diana's head snapped up. She stared at her friend bemused. That was supposed to help. But no. But the good news is I figured out where she's headed. Turns out it's her home country. Cellmate says she's been muttering in her sleep about a Tomoe in Tokyo. Edda handed over a file. Got Checkmate to look it up. That's Professor Tomoe she worked with at one point in arcanobiology. It's been linked to some pretty nasty incidents too. A huge, almost catastrophic disaster at the university a few years back. Local heroes even had to get involved. He's been inactive since then, though. He's also involved in a lab accident that nearly killed his daughter. There's some weird stuff going on there. So we're mixing manga and anime continuity. I can deal with that. Suffice to say, she isn't even living with him right now. Whether a Poison wants with this guy, it can't be good. He has mad scientists written all over him if it's gone all quiet now. Wonder Woman examined the file, her brow furrowed. The disaster at the university. It says the Sailor soldiers were involved? Yeah, they're basically Tokyo's protectors. Teenagers. But they're pretty damn powerful. Those girls have saved the world about as much as any JLA bigwig. Yes, I heard about them. Wonder Woman looked thoughtfully at the file. Do you think it would be intruding on their territory to go after Poison? She was really rattled by all these women coming after her. She's your villain. I don't see why you wouldn't appreciate some extra help. They're a friendly bunch by all accounts. Diana still looked unsure. Look, I thought this would help you out, because it's an opportunity for you to get away, like the police told you to. Do something constructive. You got the best minds working at this anti-U epidemic. You'll do the opposite of help by sticking around. The hate virus, or whatever, hasn't spread outside the eastern U.S. Helping in Japan is the best alternative. And, Diana said, squinting at the papers, it may not be a coincidence Dr. Poison escaped around this time the epidemic started. Atta girl! You can help me get to the bottom of all this. Edda thumped her friend on the back. Very well. Diana cracked a slight smile. I'll familiar myself with Tomoe and the Sailor team, as it's likely I'll run into both. I've been waiting to meet those girls for a while. They soon ever will work. I'd certainly love to meet you as well. Diana frowned. Unless the epidemic flows overseas. Then we might have trouble. That won't happen, Edda said firmly, gripping Di's hand. Why don't you get a shower and take off soon? Oh, and if you find one of those funky anime statues of yourself while you're over there, you gotta get me one. I would like to get one. Diana gave a small laugh. Okay. It'll go really nice with my Chun-Li figure. She got up and headed for the bathroom. But before it turned and entering, thank you, Edda. I know I've dealt with worse crises. Constant reboots. The fact that nobody seems to want to agree that George Perez's run was the best. Oh, and Gail Simone. But this is just hitting me hard. She glanced down at the blood on her hands. But you're right. Sulking solves nothing. So, thank you. Excuse me. Did she just mess up with the grammar on this line? Glance down at the blood on your hand. Basic! Bad! Bad! I was enjoying myself, and you messed up with that grammar. I'm docking you a point from your score. Grammar. No problem. We're all rooting for you. Never forget that. Edda smiled a bit as Diana closed the door. Checkmate was busy buzzing updates to her phone in her hand, saying the anti-Wonder Woman female sentinel was spreading faster than ever. Everyone in America would be likely infected in a matter of days. Don't forget it, even if the rest of us do. Well, that was an interesting start. A lot of mystery, build-up. The best part, the stellar setting for a character! Sorry, how sad has it become that I've got to make that the high point of any fanfic when it comes to these crossovers? Seriously, it's not fun. I like Wonder Woman's bit too, and I wonder if this is a reference to either a comic book story, if this is the author's original story just popping up. I'd like to find out more. But when it comes to Wonder Woman's character, while for the most part it wasn't character, I'm going to have to dock it a point for Wonder Woman daring using the word the patriarchy, because if there's one thing I will never associate Wonder Woman with, it's words like that. She believes in equality for all. So having her use a radical feminist term like that is so out of character for her, it's not even funny. But I'm willing to forgive that, because the rest of it had a pretty good scenes of Wonder Woman actually dealing with her own emotional issues, and who was she? Especially considering the fact that, yeah, she is kind of a princess and might not speak for everybody. I also love the fact that we got to see Etta Candy in a great guest starring role. See? DC, Wonder Woman has a great supporting cast. Why don't you use it more often? Sorry, but the run before Rebirth, the New 52 Wonder Woman kind of ticks me off. Actually, a lot of things about the New 52 ticks me off, but I could spend hours talking about that. But that was a pretty well done chapter. That was one down. Thousands more to go. I'll see you next time.